On this video, I'm going to focus exclusively on making you confident that you can publish your own web app, your own website using Cursor, the AI code editor, and we're going to go from having nothing, not even downloading Cursor. So we're going to see how to download, how to start your project, how to use Cursor, and we are going to see how you can have it online without paying anything. If that sounds like something you want to do, let's start right now. So first we're going to start downloading Cursor. You can download it in here. In here it's telling me that I can download it for Windows because, well, it detected that I'm in Windows. But you can also, if it's not showing you the correct one, you can select in here, for example, Mac, Linux, and Windows. So you just click on download. It's going to start the download, and it's pretty straightforward on how to download it and open it and install it. It already downloaded it, and you can go ahead and install it. Just go through the steps that it's telling you. I'm just opening it in here. As you can see, it takes a while. To be honest, that's something that I don't like about Cursor. It takes like a little bit to open it, and it shouldn't be like that. But in here, we already are in Cursor. And this page may, if you haven't done this, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry. We're going to see how to start and what's the easiest way to create a project. In here, I'm already inside my account, but I'm going to close my account, not close, but log out, just so you can see how to log in. So in here, you can see that it's telling me to sign in. I'm going to click in sign in, and it's going to open the login screen. So I'm just going to write my email. And if you don't have one, you can create an account in here. Everything that we're doing right now, it's free. You don't need to pay like anything for what we're going to do right now. So you just create your account in here. I'm going to log in. You are going to need to go through this as well, because it's going to, you need to sign in when you want to use Cursor. That's a requirement. So I'm just looking. So you add your password, and I'm going to sign in. Okay, so just log in. Okay, so now I can go back to Cursor. I'm going to open Cursor again. I'm going to, as you can see, it already detected that I logged in, because it's saying here in Pro that I'm in Pro because I'm a paying customer from Cursor. So in here, we can open a project, we can clone a repo, and we can connect via SSH. To be honest, we are not going to use that right now because those are other concepts and that's not the focus of this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a project like we used to create projects way back in the day. So I'm going to go to Windows Explorer, and we are going to create a new folder, like a basic folder in your machine, in your computer. So in here I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it first project. Then we're going to go inside, and this is the folder that we are going to open inside Cursor. So in Cursor, we're going to go to open project, and we're going to go to this path. So we are going to select this folder, and it's going to change a little bit of the layout. And as you can see, this is where we work on Cursor. We have the primary sidebar, we have the secondary sidebar. Right now, I'm going to close this sidebar because I just want to focus in here. So first, we need to create our the first file. This is going to be the entry point for our website. I'm going to call it, we need to call this one index.html to avoid any confusion or error when we uploaded it in the server, okay? But it can have other names, for example, index.php or .js, but those are other topics that we're not going to see in this video. In this video, we're having the most basic structure for you to have a working website, web app in the web. So that's why we're going to call it index.html. So in here, we need to start writing HTML. But what happens if we don't know HTML and what's the structure? Because HTML needs to have a specific structure for it to work as it is intended. Because the browser where we see this file and where people are going to visit our website, the browser needs the structure so that it can show correctly the website. But what happens if we don't know what's the structure? So that's where cursor comes in. There are several ways in which we can do this. I'm going to do it first using clicks in here, and then I'm going to tell you how to do it with the keyboard that it's faster. But you go to the view menu and we go to appearance, and we need to open the secondary sidebar, and it's this one. Remember that it was open right now? Okay, so I just reopen it. And this is one of the main ways, or I think some of the most used ways to interact with cursor. So I'm going to tell cursor to develop or to write. We can be like use plain language, plain English. So I'm going to tell it write the structure for an HTML file. So we just click enter or we send the message. In here, it is right now, it's important that we have selected agent because we want cursor to be able to modify freely this file. If we just wanted to talk with cursor and then we are going to make the changes, we are going to use ask. And these are other options. To be honest, I have only used these two. So we're going to stay with agent right now, and we are going to send this message. And now, as you can see, it's working on the file, and it gave us the main, like the structure that browsers are expecting for HTML files. And in here, you can see that it already added the code to the index.html. And in here, it's telling us if we want to accept these changes or reject them. In this case, we're going to accept them because they look good. What I like to do in here is read what's going on in here, because it's going to tell you how it's thinking about what you just sent. And this is a way to know that it did understand you and it's going to work on what you were expecting to. Then it's going to tell you or give you the code, and then it's going to explain what the code does. And there are times where in here it's going to tell you like possible next steps that you could take. But basically this is how it's going to be answering your prompts in here. So now I accepted the changes, and as you can see, this file was already saved. So now this file, we can go ahead and open it. I'm going to go to the same folder, and I'm going to open index.html. And in here we have the file. It doesn't have any style, it doesn't have lots of things, but we have our own file working. Okay, so basically this is our website. We could upload this to a server. We are going to upload it in a moment, but of course this is not a good looking website. So we are going to add some colors and other styles in here. So I'm going to go back to cursor, and in here I'm going to create a new file. It's going to be called app.css. So to be honest, I'm going to modify the name. It's going to be style. It doesn't need to be app.css. It just needs to end with CSS, and we are going to open it. So now I'm going to tell you exactly the same thing, but instead of being an HTML file, that it should create a CSS file. So there are several ways in which we can do this. The way using cursor buttons, it's going to be here, and to create a new file. A new chat, sorry, and it's going to add me the style.css file. If I click in here, I can also click on here and say add files to cursor chat, and you can see how it's adding me both files to the chat. And this is a way to tell cursor that you want those two files in the context that it's going to be thinking and working on. Right now, I just want it to be on style.css, and I'm going to tell it exactly the same thing, so that it do it for a CSS file. We're going to send it. It's in agent mode, and so it should be able to modify this file. As you can see, it's giving the code, and then it's going to send it to here if everything is working. So in here, it's telling me what it did, and in here you can see that I can accept these changes or reject them, but I can also accept all the modifications that it made. In this case, it's just one, but if we had a bigger file or a more complex file, there are going to be several modifications in the file. So I really don't use this button because I want to know and to see all of the changes that cursor is doing. So I'm just going to accept the changes. Okay, so it's already saved. And if I go to my website and I reload, this is not going to do anything. Why? Because it's not connecting this file to this file. We need to connect it in a way. And this is what I wanted to show you. Another way that we can work with Cursor. And as you can see, it's already it already knows that I want to do this. But and if I press Tab in my keyboard, it's going to autocomplete it. But I don't want to do that. I just want to tell it. I want to tell it like with a comment, HTML comment, that I wanted to link the CSS file. So it's adding it in here. I press Tab and I save this. And if I go in here and I reload my website, as you can see, it changed. It changed a little bit. It's not a lot. Right now, we're not going to focus on the design aspect. Then, like in another tutorial, we can go deeper on how to make good designs for websites. But in here, we're going to leave it like here. You can delete the comment if you want to, because this is something pretty basic that doesn't need comments. So the other thing that we are missing before we upload the file, the website to the web, I want to add a JavaScript file. JavaScript is the programming language for the browser. These two, the HTML and CSS, well, yeah, they are a language, but those are not programming languages. Yes, it's a language to talk to the computer, but we cannot do like lots of things. With HTML, we give it the structure and the text that should be in the content, that should be in the website. With CSS, we give it the styles, for example, sizes, colors, the spacing between elements and other things. And with this new file that I'm going to write script, that I'm going to name, script.js of JavaScript, we are going to be able to do like basically all of the other things, like for example, how it's going to react when we make like click on a button, and how should other elements appear in the screen, and lots of other things. Like everything else is made with JavaScript. In here, this is how I like to work, not using these buttons. So I usually use Control-L in my keyboard, and that takes me to the secondary side to interact with Cursor. So I'm going to press Control-L again so that it closes it, and I'm going to open it again. In here, I don't want to continue talking with Cursor with this chat, because I don't want it to get confused with what we were talking previously with what I need now. So I'm going to create a new chat, and as you can see, it added script.js. And in here, I'm going to tell it what I want to do. So I'm going to tell it, give me a script that gets local time for the user. Pretty basic script and functionality. So now it added in here, and I'm going to accept these changes. But look how it's also modifying my HTML file, because we need to link this script.js file to the index.html. And if I go in here, you are going to see how it modified these things. So in here, I don't want to delete everything that Cursor is deleting. So I'm going to click in here and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to accept the changes, and I'm also going to accept these changes, but we're going to make more changes. Okay, so I'm going to accept it, and then in here I'm going to paste what we had in here previously, and I'm going to modify this to be here in main, and I'm going to delete this. I'm going to do it like this, and in here I want to okay, now, so this is how you really are going to be working on Cursor. Yes, it's pretty cool that it can create you the files from scratch, and to start asking it to create you specific functionalities. But it's not going to get it right at the first time. So for example, in here, as you can see, it removed the link that we had to the style CSS file. So I'm going to copy this style just in case, but I'm going to say something how I really work with this. So I'm going to copy it. I already copied it, and I'm going to select everything. I'm going to press in my keyboard Ctrl-Shift-L, and as you can see, it created a new chat, but it added the index.html file, but also the lines 7 to 24. So that's how we say to cursor to focus on these lines. I'm telling cursor, this is where I want you to make the changes, and it's going to take it into account. Maybe it's going to make the changes in other places if it thinks that it's needed, but it's going to focus specifically on these lines. So I'm going to tell it, move this style to app.css and relink app, not app CSS, so that's style.css, and relink style.css with index.html. I'm going to send this. Okay, so in here, as you can see, it didn't apply directly the changes because we were using the ask mode instead of agent. But if I click in here, apply to style CSS, and I go down here, you can see that it's going to add me the changes. Okay, and it's telling here that I added the changes, that I accepted them. And then in index.html, I'm going to do the same thing. And as you can see, I'm going to accept the changes, accept and accept. Okay, so now if we go to in here and we reload the page, you can see this is my current time, and we still have this style. And in here, I want to do several things to make this better before uploading it. First, this is not the correct year, so I'm going to tell it that it has with Ctrl+Shift+L, and I'm going to tell it this is not the correct year. Get the correct year. So I'm going to send it, and now it's making this, it's getting the year using JavaScript. So I'm going to apply this, accept the changes. Then we are going to apply this to script.js, accept the changes and accept the changes. We are going to save it. We're going to reload it. And as you can see, it updated the correct year. And now I want to have this centered before uploading it to the web. So I'm going to tell it in here, I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to say Ctrl+Shift+L again, and I'm going to tell it center the content. So in here, if I don't give it more information, maybe it's going to do it in a way that I don't like to, but let's see what it does without more information. So actually it did it like I was expecting to. It's using flex, so that's what I was expecting. So I'm going to apply the changes and I'm going to accept. To be honest, what I will prefer it in here is to, instead of applying these styles to all of the document, I was expecting it to add the classes in here and then add what each of those classes in here represented. But this also works, and I'm going to leave it like that. So now if I reload this, you can see that the content is centered. And we can start doing like more things in here. Like for example, I want this to be higher in the website and have less space between the website and the timer. But I'm not going to go into that. Like you already know, or you already saw how we can do it. Like for example, we can select this or select this and add it to the context. I'm not going to do that in here, just so we can go ahead and upload the website to the web. So now, there are several ways in which we can move the website from our computer and upload it to the web. The way that you should be doing it is with this tab. It's the source control tab. And in here, this is the way to save projects, like not just web projects, but like everything that's related with code. Then we can do lots of things, like work with a team so that everyone can edit their own code and then add it to the main pack, to the main code, the main branch. But we're not going to do that in here because it's a completely different concept, and I don't want to go in here in this basic tutorial. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to in here, and we're going to go to netlify.com. Press enter, and to be honest, I don't use Netlify. I'm just using it in this tutorial because it has the features that I need to upload the website without using Git, because other services like Vercel, like DigitalOcean, like Cloudflare require more setup so that you are able to move your website to the web. So that's why I'm using Netlify for this tutorial. And it's free. You can connect your domain for free, and it's going to make it really easy for us. So you can sign up in here. It's going to ask you for your email and for, as you can see, it already detected that I have an account because I just created it for this project. But, and this actually it's this one, I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go to project configuration, and we're going to delete this project. So I'm going to copy this, copy and paste it. Let me see, and delete it. Okay, so now we don't have any project in here, and I'm going to add it. But you will need to create an account. Just use your email, create the account. It's going to ask you some questions. So for example, what are you trying to do? And what type of project? What's your role in your company? Things like that. Just answer the questions and you're going to get in here. And in here, as you can see, that we can use Git, we can use templates, but we can also drag and drop the project. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to drag our project in here. We're going to go in here. We need to drag the folder with all the files. So if I go in here, we have the files that we created. So I'm going to drag this. We're going to go in here and I'm going to upload it. And we already have this. So I can go to get started. And in here, it's going to appear. This is the project. In here, if I click in here, we are going to have the website in the web. Now you can start sharing this link and people are going to be able to see your website. Obviously, it's not the best domain, but that's the beautiful thing. We can connect our own domain. So for example, I don't know if we can modify the name in here. So let me see, change project name. So you can change this. And I don't know, let's try local time, if it allows me to change it. Yes. So if I go in here, now this is our new domain. So I'm going to close this and I want to add my own domain. If I go to, I believe project overview, and we are going to connect the domain, and I'm going to add this domain that I'm not using. So I'm going to click in verify. And okay, add domain, and in here it's telling me that I need to change my DNS. So I have my domain, I bought it with Namecheap, and I'm going to go to my domain, the domain. I have it in here, and we're going to go back to here and set up Netlify DNS, verify, add domain, and continue. So it's telling me to add these name servers. I'm going to modify this. Then I'm going to copy this one, add it in here, copy this one, add it in here, and copy this one and add it in here. So I'm going to apply the changes. It's going to take a little bit. You can see in here that it's telling me that it can take up to 48 hours to take effect. Usually, and to be honest, this is it doesn't take that long, but it can take that long. So we're going to see if this was faster than the 48 hours. I'm going to, so I detected that it's correct. So, okay, so it's still not fully correct. And let's see if this is working now. To be honest, like this was the website that was before in this domain, like before I changed it to this, but it's going to take a while. But in here we can see that it is correct and it's preparing the domain, but it's going to take some time. It can be like 10-15 minutes or up to 48 hours, but it's usually correct. If you're having trouble for more than 48 hours, maybe there's some error, but you do need to be patient. When this is not instantly for me, I I usually leave it there and I go, I don't know, I grab something, I do exercise, or I do other things. And usually when I come back, it's already done. So that's basically it. I hope you are not feeling overwhelmed working with Cursor. As you can see, it's pretty easy. We just need to know how to work with the sidebar and with the comments in here, and what to do if there's an error, if we want to make a change in a specific line of our code, and all of those beautiful things. So that's all in this video. Please let me know what you think about it and what else I should work on, so that I can help you build your own web apps using AI as your co-programmer, co-maker, your co-founder, and get the benefits of this AI revolution. That's all for today, and we're going to continue in the next tutorial. See you later.